And welcome to another episode of Giving a Hoot with Luke and Liam.
Woo! Let's go, Luke. I'm back and better than ever. I'm like that WWE meme of the guy coming out of the casket.
Yeah, I mean, more or less. Like last I talked to you, you were gainfully unemployed, still in college, and now you're a professional.
Gainfully unemployed. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I was like drowning in student loan debt as I was about to graduate college. But yeah, I'm a professional making millions of dollars covering high school student athletes. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, you got to start somewhere, and I'm glad you started at Who Gives a Hoot, and I'm glad we can every once in a while harass you to come back.
Who Gives a Hoot is definitely still on my resume.
Dude, I mean, does your what's your current paper that you're at?
It's called the Courier Tribune. It's in Liberty, Missouri, about like 20 minutes north of KC.
Isn't that like Truman's hometown?
Who? Oh no. That is Independence, Missouri.
Okay, sorry. There's too much freedom in that area. Hard to keep track.
John Smith, the famous Mormon, he was imprisoned in Liberty, Missouri, and there's a massive museum called the Liberty Freedom Jail where he spent a couple of years. So anyone's interested in Mormon history, come on down.
Well, I don't think the Courier Tribune has a scarf, so just saying, one is a little bit more real.
It doesn't, but maybe I should make one. Put my face on it.
I mean, you're giving out like your player of the season for those high school sports, giving them a Courier Tribune scarf, instead of like a fancy trophy or something.
Dude, oh my gosh, that is such a good idea. I'm doing that next summer. That's so great because my boss and I were talking about what we should give the student athletes next year, and she was thinking like a poster or something. I was like, that's cool, but like we could do something way cooler. A scarf would be so sick.
Dude, I mean, a scarf isn't one of those things that like you're worried about crushing up. So,
right.
Like you pack
and like
college, like yeah.
And most of these kids are seniors in high school. Oh, that looks so good on a dorm wall.
Exactly. There we go. We're just finding merch idea.
You get like 1% royalties, Luke.
Beautiful. I'll take it. All right, let's pull it back since you've moved away. You're now in Kansas City Metro, but you're still a huge Union Omaha fan. From day one. Original writer for the blog. We got some news though in Union Omaha world.
We got a lot of news. We got some big news, and it comes in the way of a new player. And showed up on the pitch on Saturday against Fuego, but didn't do much like we kind of saw. But he was only with the team for less than a week, so it's like, look, you're not expecting much, right?
Yeah, and Corey Hertzog has scored.
Sorry, I should have said his name.
Yeah, Corey Hertzog has scored in a game in which Union Omaha played already this year. He scored against us in the Open Cup, and I think he holds the record for the most goals scored in the championship. MLS experience. He's the second heavily decorated veteran that Jay's brought in this midseason. With Gilles coming on and Hertzog, you tell Jay definitely seeing some errors in the middle or like in his youth out there. You got a lot of really young guys and you have the experience, but you don't have experience everywhere across the pitch. And some of the experience hasn't been healthy.
No, exactly, Luke. And I was thinking about it like the other day, and I was on my car ride, and I was thinking about it. I was like, what if these guys came in the preseason? Would they have helped instantly? Probably. But I actually liked how Jay did this maybe mid-season, And, that deep US Open Cup run really allowed those new guys, I think, to find their footing and kind of like baptism by fire almost. And then kind of really recognize what it's like to be a Union Omaha player. And now we got these reinforcements coming mid-season or in August that I think it actually will boost the team more than we think, more from not just the style of play on the field, but also in a locker room. Because, some of these guys on Union Omaha might have been like, I'm a starter no matter what. Like, even if I can't put a goal in, like, I might be a starter. And then you got these two new guys coming in, and maybe in training now they're like, oh my gosh, my starting spot's going to get taken if I don't work my butt off right now. And so everyone wants to play in the playoffs in these big games. I think that's going to be huge for this team down the stretch.
Well, it's something Ben talking about, especially the forward position. And I think Ricky just hasn't been healthy because haven't seen him dress a lot after coming back from his CONCACAF glory, playing for Puerto Rico, getting 6 goals in Nations League. Like, I was expecting him to be a leader up there on the top, and Kamal the same. And they just haven't been. I don't think they have the understanding of the USL system, the US system, enough to really be providing that leadership up there for Noe and Hugo. You throw on a guy like Herzog, who obviously knows the championship very well. I think you start seeing pull it back to where he's coming from. He's coming from Hartford, and former Union Omaha backup goalkeeper Sam Howard just signed with Hartford. I don't know if there's some backdoor trading there. If we held sell-on rights, the USL for Sam, but no. It reminds me a lot of that first season. Rashid was still relatively green, and Sam's his backup. They weren't pushing each other. Like, Rashid was statistically a significantly better goalkeeper, but Sam just wasn't providing that much challenge to Rashid. So Rashid kind of plateaued. Then you bring on Kevin, and you see how much better Rashid got because he's got a guy on the bench who's 10, 11 years experience, at 30, 31 years old, isn't at the end of his goalkeeping career when you've got guys in their 40s and 50s still playing some leagues. That's essentially what I see Luis and well, I'm gonna have to call him Herzog. We have to go by last names now. We have 2 Connors, we have 2 Alexes.
I know.
Like, I don't like it. I don't like it. So Herzog coming on.
I think it's one of these things though with Herzog is don't expect him to blaze it up in these first couple of games. Like, this man, like, joining a new team, no matter the sport, no matter the league, just because there aren't really set plays in soccer doesn't mean he's just going to gel instantly. So I think the thing that, you see on social media, what every Union Omaha fan is thinking is, I want goals. We need goals. We need goals now. And I think when you have a defense as strong as we do, and we're probably going to get more into this, like, I think we could have some patience with Herzog. And taking it back to the 2 guys that you said just haven't been gelling very well. There's something about the League One that you just got to know how to muck it up. Like, you just got to know how to get dirty goals. Like, you just got to know, like there are some bangers of goals, and we know that, but majority of the goals in League One are just a gross toe poke into, like, underneath the goalie's leg. Like, you just got to know where to be at the right spot. And part of that's lucky, but also part of that's just being a poacher. And I think everyone in League One has to be kind of a poacher.
Well, let's revisit this later on in the pod. But speaking of just dirty goals, Giovanni is 1 goal of the week, and then just within days, because he scored it on the 31st of July, wins goal of the month. Like, Ryan and I talked about that last week, but I don't think that goal could get enough praise because holy shit, that was good.
Yeah, on TV, it looked absolutely absurd. It looked like something you'd see on Saturday morning for a team that plays Everton. That's what you think you see, and I just talk about it in person because I just can't imagine seeing that goal live because that feels once in a lifetime to see something that good.
Well, that was one of the benefits of like if you're on either end line in the supporters areas, you see that curl and it just like full curl up into the top there. Like I've not seen a prettier goal in person. And last season I saw a lot of goals for Union Omaha. I've seen a lot of goals at MLS level, and like that just damn.
So Luke, what were you feeling like when he was like talking back? And it's like if he just goes blast that 40 yards over, like it's probably the game. Like the whistle's probably coming soon. Like, what were you like? No, don't do it.
I think I was sitting next to Aiden on the berm, and I look over, and as I see the ball go to Giovanni, I'm like, he's gonna fucking sky this.
But he doesn't. He probably takes that as clean as possible.
I have never been happier to be wrong, but like, that was great. So yeah, that's goal of the month. We had a team of the week appearance by JP Skiers, who got our only goal against Fuego. Yeah, we played Fuego. One of the teams.
Fire.
And Rashid is up for save of the week. I think voting will happen till noon on Thursday, noon Eastern Thursday, noon Central Thursday, for blocking a PK and getting a yellow card in there too somehow. Blocking a PK going for the ball as a goalkeeper, like 100%, like there was no intent to like. But
yeah, beating an absolute dead horse with refereeing though.
Yeah,
the horse's remains aren't even nearby.
We can't even talk about reffing. And honestly, this game wasn't the worst example of it in League One, and that's saying something. But
let's talk about that PK though, because I mean, great save by Rashid. I mean, he could have went the other way and it would have been in, but man, Rashid made the dude taking the PK look like he was in fourth grade. Like it was a brutal PK.
Rashid, the way he handled that, the way he read that, the way he led, forced. He controlled that entire PK interaction. Like, he made, like, you could tell by his body language, he was making sure that ball was going where he wanted it to, and just everything about that was perfect by Rashid.
Exactly, and I don't know if the PK taker was distracted by the highway or whatever's going on the other side of Fuego Stadium, but I mean, I would pull that as an
excuse. I mean, they had a perfect opportunity to go up and didn't. Honestly, this game was you could look at our bench and see we were a little short-staffed on defense. Jiba, who had been out the week before, apparently with a knee injury, was back in, played a great. I think he was in 60 minutes, 63 minutes, somewhere there. Our defense yet again was extremely well positioned, well formed. I forget. I think it was Social Club's Twitter put out, like, how does the best defense in the league not have had anybody on team of the week?
Whoa, like, is that true?
I think Ryan Jiba has gotten on there once because he got an assist.
Dalton's not made it yet?
Dalton's not made team of the week, I don't believe. I don't think Touche, I think, might have once. But
that's insane.
Yeah, we're best defense in the league. I mean, it looks less impressive because our offense has just not been doing anything.
Right.
But what is it? 13 goals allowed in that's now 17 games, 16 games.
Yeah, it's FIFA. You're playing on FIFA rookie status. Like it's
Yeah.
unbelievable the defense that's going on, and it comes down to like, I mean, it's kind of beating a dead horse again, but Rashid is that good. Like, he is the price of admission of any Omaha game you go to because the way he just carries himself on the field, he's not one of these head case Joe Hart goalies where he's freaking out all the time. But he's also not one of these like weird, like calm in his own head type goalkeepers. There's a real great balance to him as a goalie, and I'm kind of excited for him because I'm glad he's put in 3 good seasons in a row. Because I don't want him to be in this league forever because I think he's good enough to definitely start moving up, and he seems very mature for being a goalkeeper, which is obviously a very mature position that you need to have. And I think that he is obviously one of the most valuable or the most valuable player on this team.
I want to say yesterday, and I'm sorry, I'm pulling a lot of stuff off of Twitter here. Was it the Walkin' 90 or one of Elliot's Twitter's accounts? That it was like USL or USL goalie wars or USL All-Star game, like who's in goal. And I think everybody, whether it was just Nuhu or Nuhu was like first on their list, regardless of team responding to it, was, it's telling when you've got like some of your big rivals, teams that want to see you do poorly, which I think everybody does with Omaha because we're assholes.
I think the best part about this, which is why League One is set up so well, is that almost every team's supporters group is behind goal. And so the people that are voting for this stuff or on social media talking about League One are the diehard fans of X team, and they are seeing Nuhu as close as possible. And I think that's why when you see that man actually play live, you're like, this guy he's by far and away the best goalkeeper in the league.
Well, I mean, hell, he didn't win goal of or save of the month because he had 2 saves up for save of the month.
Yeah.
A game against Greenville, he makes that absolutely amazing save, and the best camera footage is by a Greenville supporter, by Gio. And like,
hey man, you're preaching to the choir. Someone that's watching home and away games on ESPN Plus.
Rashid in this game, honestly, the PK save, the only reason I think it won save of the week is because he just had such an amazing game. And the only reason why that was chosen as his save of the game was because how well he controlled that PK interaction. Because there were some better saves by him in that game. His kick save at
the end. The 90th minute save. His body control and the way he reacted off of the line was just unbelievable. And it was, like I said, mature. He knew that if it went to the left side or the right side, he had that covered. Like he had done his homework on what was going to happen in that situation. And it's evident because he made that save look so easy. When in fact, that save is not easy at all.
Well, I also think, again, let's just assume that we chose horses on the Oregon Trail and they all died. Because like our defense, I think, has allowed Rashid to be able to take the time to understand games so much better, to be in the right spot because he knows his defense is going to always be there. Alex Touche and Dalton are going to be in the right spot at the right time. If they're getting burned, it's because somebody did something amazing and not because they were slacking.
Totally. And it's kind of strange where we've come this season, because I think there were a lot of question marks on the defense entering the season. Just because of new players, what was it going to be like? How are they going to gel? Where in the previous 2 seasons, the defense was like unbelievable and like, gelled really well. And, to see this team mold from the beginning of the season to now is pretty cool to see. And if you've been a fan since, the beginning of the season, you kind of got to watch the defense not grow up, but really become comfortable with one another and knowing where each other is, no matter if there's an injury or something, and, it's getting changed up.
Well, we'll get a little bit more into that here, but let's, because I think we've been talking about this all season. Jiba's growth has been utterly insane. Bala finally getting in and meshing has been so good. But let's talk about this corner that resulted in goal.
It's pretty good. It was all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Connor's been taking a few more corners here and there. It started out pretty much with like just Joe doing it, but I think Joe's considered more dangerous in the box in a lot of ways, or has that distance shot that's allowing a better chance there. So putting Connor or Amir or even I think Ryan's taken a few, putting those guys out there on the corners is just opening that up. And then our guy who just flies into goal, JP, still won't give me one from 25 yards out. Leaves that for
totally.
JP. But him in the air, you beating JP in the air, even though he's not the tallest guy out there, like him in the air is just the best aerial duels in League One. Like you're not beating him unless you're, Shaq level height.
And it doesn't help when your defense isn't communicating either. Like to make that header so wide open, and it just makes it even easier. And JP to get that high up and to make that goal, again, like that goal is not that easy, but he just slams it into the back of the net. And it's really fun to see that when off of a set piece, especially when a team's struggling to score, you get to see that. And it's not what I was talking about earlier, like a gross muck it up goal. Like that is the goal that sparks an offense and gets the team going and gives them more confidence. And kudos to JP. It was a great run from the top of the box, from what I could see from ESPN Plus, and it was a good goal, and it was a deserved winner. And again, kudos to him.
It's interesting to me because JP essentially plays a 6 for us.
Yeah,
and he is now with that solidified himself as the leading goal scorer for Union Omaha this season. That was his 5th goal in season with 2 in Open Cup. And your 6 probably shouldn't be your leading goal scorer. As a casual soccer observer, I feel comfortable in saying that. But it is telling how JP is he's getting in the right position. He's getting in the great spots on set pieces. And, when he's seeing the opportunity, he's taking it because he's comfortable enough that he can track back, that he can cover, or that his teammates are able to cover. And, he's able to just get that in, make it happen. And in this case, get us 3 points.
100%. And it helps when you're so familiar with the system too that you're playing in, that he has the trust of Jay and he knows how to succeed in the system. And I think it's wild when, these players bounce around from League One team to League One team. Like, you get the business part of it and, things happen obviously, but when you can play back-to-back years in a League One team and you figure out tendencies of your coach and things like that, I think only good things can come of that, especially when a lot of these players are young players. And I think it's evident with guys like JP and guys like Rasheed. And it's been pretty awesome to watch their development from, season 1 all the way to now, because you feel like you're growing up with them. But and that goal was just a great Union Omaha goal, because to watch your captain Connor hit just a great ball into the box off of the corner, something that we've kind of been struggling with, which is corner set pieces. And so to see that really work out, even if it was a miscue on defense from Fuego or a miscommunication, to see that actually go down gives me a lot of hope for the next couple of weeks as a fan.
Well, I mean, hell, the next week we have 3 games. They're all at home.
I'll suit up. need some fresh legs, Jay.
Right. Saturday's going to be 97, something like that. That's not including heat index. But Jay and his Mims minute or whatever the hell.
Okay, yeah, we need to talk about this.
Well,
was Jay stolen? Was he kidnapped? Have we seen Jay since? I think that's the real question. Did the admin steal him? Where is he? Is he still in California? I think there's a lot of questions that need to be asked.
I mean, I have not seen Jay in Omaha since then, but he did talk about, though, exactly what you're saying. Guys who've been here 3 seasons, where we only have three guys who've been here since day one.
Right.
I guess Rasheed was here probably day 3, because he was announced on the bus where we had no goalkeepers going into the first preseason games. But no, Rasheed, Dalton, and JP, their level since game 1 for us. And at that point, JP was the only one who'd never played a professional minute. Dalton had come to us from Tormenta, where he'd played a few minutes, and Rasheed had done a year of bench warming at Red Bulls 2. Those 3 guys have grown so much to where I don't think there's a coach in this league that wouldn't look at those 3 as starters. And if they did, they're wrong, or didn't look at them as starters, they're wrong.
Right.
It just they have grown so much in Jay's system, but just as players. Rasheed last year, I don't think would have stopped that PK. I don't think he would have made the save to get us through Chicago. Those things wouldn't have happened there. I don't think JP. Well, granted, JP got his injury after end of preseason last year, and then decided he didn't want to score at all in season. But JP, I don't think would have been confident enough to really be fighting for every aerial ball in the box like he is. And Dalton didn't get enough playing time year 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Had he gotten more playing time year 1, had Jay locked in on Dalton and Alal quickly, and then last year where putting in Jake, and then Alal's issues where Dalton essentially had to step up and take control of the back line, that very much I think has locked him in. Is when Connor's not on the field, he's wearing the armband.
I wish this was high school, where we could have 8 captains. eight players wearing the captain armband. There's so many dudes that you're like, man, I wish he would wear the captain's armband, because he's been here for so long. Things like that. The final game of the season, we should trot out all 11 players with the captain's armband.
What is it Bayern has first captain, second captain, third captain, fourth captain, fifth captain, and then players council.
They're rattling it off.
I know those are essentially just pay bumps, and you need to have some hierarchy on the field, but
exactly. But I think a really good point that we haven't made yet, though, and I think about these three guys that, yeah, they've come back each year, and they feel comfortable in the system, and they're playing for Jay and they're playing hard for Jay. But I think they also just like the city of Omaha, and that's really fun to say because some of these guys are coming from they've never been in Omaha before. Like what their passion to play soccer is purely for themselves. I don't know if that's true, but they have no connection to the team, to the city. That you could say that they're just working for themselves to move up, and which is totally understandable. But you got these guys coming back 3 years, and you can tell that they want to win another title. They want to play for the city. They like being a part of the community. They love doing those things, like those clinics and things like that. And that's all you want from an organization. You want them to buy players and keep players that love playing for the team. And those three guys are pure examples of it, and they're super fun to root for.
I'm just going to say one overlooked fact as well of Jay's retention strategy, I think. Of those three players we're talking about, you've been here for 3 years, only one of them has a significant other that they did not meet in Omaha. So
right.
Just saying, Jay might have a strategy there. Leading into that, or segue here, it's singles night on Saturday.
Let's go.
But yeah, like that retention there, I think has just made them so much more fun to root for. And even the guys who just came in last year stayed on, they're finding Omaha as a place that they want to stay, like that they want to be. But let's get to the last big thing that happened in the game. We talked a little bit about that. 93rd minute, there was a lot of stoppage time.
Before we kind of start on that, I think it's kind of funny when they show the highlights on Twitter, and it's like a 2.5-minute clip, and the second half is only like 15 seconds of the highlights. I think that says everything you need to know about what that second half was like.
We did not control possession in this game, and our defense was damn good. That's about all that needs said there until the last couple of minutes where they get the ball in. What was that? That was a free kick.
Yeah, it was a free kick. Yep.
Dalton does a great job deflecting it, getting in the way of what would have been just a sunk shot there. Rashid does a foot save right off the line, with the box being crashed, and then Dalton just yeets that ball way the hell out of there.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I mean, that's one of those subtle soccer plays that plays that you're like, if you're a casual fan, you're just like, good, they did their job. But if you're like kind of hardcore and you're like, whoa, that play was so cool.
Yeah, that was just one of those, watching at the end, I'm like fighting, just like, no, this is not how we're losing. We're not getting a Chattanooga 2021 here.
And Fuego, just because it's like the most far west team, you feel like the guys are so far away. You're like if you're rooting for some English team and they got to go play Swansea and like Wales, you're like, whoa, we're going to a different country. Like the guys back, they looked like so far away, and so like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hoping that you come away with this win because I'm not coming out there to grab you.
Well, that essentially was the last play of the game. We pulled out 3 points. Jay had almost nothing to say but praise. The subs
rightfully so.
Even the subs we had on, Eddie came on for Jiba again, which is
ex-classmate.
Yeah, ex-classmate of Liam's, Eddie. No, Eddie comes on for Jiba second, or left back, second game in a row, and he crushed it. Like I would not have expected him to be a backup at that position going into the season. And he's been killing it whenever he's been on the field and really fighting for a starting spot. I don't think he's going to get it, but he's fighting for it. Appreciate that.
Totally. Show passion too. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah. And Herzog, I think, is the other notable on the fact that he came on. He was announced on Tuesday. And I think maybe had like 2 training sessions with the team. He'd been in contract with Hartford, and I don't know what happened there. It wasn't announced as a transfer. It was announced as a signing, and he was released from his contract out there. So something's going on.
I mean, have you been to Hartford? It's like the Omaha of the East Coast. Like,
hey, you were just talking about how great Omaha is for all the players.
It is. Omaha's a great city. I didn't say anything bad about Hartford.
Hey, they lost their NHL team, so
rest in peace.
Did a very good job of shutting the game down and come out of California 3 points, a week of rest going into what could be one of the hardest stretches we've got. Saturday game focus on now. We've got NoCo, then make up for Charlotte, which we'd missed that as a Wednesday game early on because of the Open Cup, because we went too far. We missed that because of, was that Minnesota or was that NoCo?
I think it was Minnesota.
Okay. So either way, the themes for at least those two is, Saturday, as we mentioned, singles night. Go find some love at Werner Park.
Heck yeah. Tweet us your pictures below.
I mean, $25 ticket gets you a drink, which you've already made your money there. $16 berm ticket plus a drink. Like that's your $25. And then you get speed dating. Maybe you can go hit on Hoot the Owl, who apparently has a great Tinder profile. That's a pretty solid deal there. Pups at the Pitch on Wednesday. I'll go see some four-legged furry friends. Hopefully they don't have a terrible time and it's not like stupid hot out.
Dog passing out in the berm.
I mean, hell, you almost have people passing out on the berm because 95, no shade. Like it's rough.
You need to try and like build TIFOs as high as possible and just use them as like awnings.
Yeah, something at this point. Like, gotta just start carrying, like, bringing out like parasols to every.
Yeah. But I think can I have the floor here for a second, Luke? I need to say something real quick. It's my four-legged friend.
I don't allowed in here while I'm recording.
I need to say something real quick to the Union Omaha faithful. The team has only lost 2 games this season. Does anyone realize how incredible that is? And why are there not more people showing up to these games when the odds are, I don't want to jinx us, but the odds are we aren't going to lose as of right now. I don't want to jinx us, but knock on.
That's Brett. That's a wood.
But it's crazy how, we're not scoring a bunch of goals and that's flashy and cool, but we aren't losing games. And that is awesome because you see so many teams around the world that can't score goals and they also can't defend and they lose a bunch of games. At least with our team, we can't score a lot of goals as of yet, but we can defend and that keeps us in ball games. And that is really fun. And it's a great ticket to go watch. And I just want these, it is super hot. And this is a thing that all Union Omaha faith, like strong fans really talk about. It's like, why couldn't we get more people in? But So that's also beating a dead horse. But like the team's not losing, and I don't think we need to hit the panic button. And some people are on social media, which I think is hilarious. But we aren't losing. We're in 5th place. We have 3 games in hand. Like I don't know what more to say besides this is awesome. This is a perfect spot to be in, and I wouldn't want to be in any other spot.
What are we at? 11 games unbeaten?
I saw 9 games unbeaten on the road, which is awesome. That is so cool.
I think the last game we lost was Greenville at home, which was May.
I mean, we've lost 2 games, and the next closest team is Madison, and they lost 5 games. That's pretty wild that is happening.
We have left a lot of points out there from draws, but like, the fact we aren't losing stands very, very well.
Huge. It's the Bob Warmer bump effect. It's like when you get the new manager bump. It's Bob warming effect. Maybe Hugo will start pouring in like 8 goals in these next 3 games.
Well, you have Corey Herzog played for Bob and Jay. Then, I mean, Hugo obviously played for Bob. Doyle played for Bob and Jay. Dion? Yeah, Dion played for both of them because he was Creighton.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, right?
There's a good chunk of the team who's played for those two. And then you figure Bobby Murphy, who's assistant coach, and his pedigree is just nuts.
Like right. These aren't new coaches. These are experienced guys that know how to get the best out of their players. And that's really fun. And also a special shout out to the Nebraska athletic director, Trev Alberts. How about that? Did you see that tweet? Yeah. That was pretty cool. We're getting a little shout out for he tweeted at Bob saying just thanking him for things, and then keep Mimsy in line. Mimsy, new nickname. How do you like that? Mimsy.
I'm really happy with our coaching situation. I'm less happy with the depth in our defense, or lack thereof. Going into this next week, I think it's really going to test the coaching ability. You've got 3 games at home, so there's not the travel involved.
Right.
But with mid-season, you've got a lot of injuries seem to be piling up. There's a lot of things to worry about, and I think the coaching is really going to come into play of how well you manage the squad, how everybody's playing. And a game against a team like NoCo, NoCo's not sitting high on the table, but they're still dangerous. Right. They lost EVD for whatever reason. EVD is now at Richmond. Yeah. But then you got Charlotte. Charlotte's been putting up serious numbers. And then, I haven't even looked.
And Charlotte's right next to us on the table, so we're a point above them. That's a game that we want to see 3 points, not just because of the standings, but we want to see the team fight and show, because if we're going to most likely play a team like Charlotte or Charlotte's quality in the playoffs, hopefully when we make the playoffs. So we want to see that we can do that and beat them, especially on our home ground.
Yeah. But like this Saturday against NoCo, I think is going to be one of our biggest challenges. I think we're going to see a real test of endurance for these guys who know they've got 3 more games. How well are they controlling their own game? Mm-hmm. How is the game management going? Like, are we making sure we're not possessing too much so we're not burning ourselves out? Like, right. what are we doing to make sure that we're able to win Wednesday and then we're able to win next Saturday? Like, that needs to be looked at very closely for Saturday. For the sake of time,
Yeah, well, last thing on that, I think we're gonna see a yoga video on the Union Omaha Twitter account on Sunday, though. I'm calling that. We're gonna see a yoga video in the next week. Book it. That's like minus 1,000, 10,000. That is guaranteed.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely. Uh, Bobby's gonna take him out for some hot yoga. Like yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Score predictions for Saturday.
Yeah, I don't. I think you're worried. You're worried. I'm not worried. I think it's gonna be 2-0, 2-0.
All right. I'm throwing Union Omaha 3-0. Because I'm saying that for every game at this point, and one of these days is going to be true.
2-0, 2-0. 2 goals seems like a lot right now.
Again, I think depending how training goes this week, if you start Herzog up there with Noe or with Hugo, I think a guy like Herzog is going to do what we were having with Evan and Greg last year. Of you've got 2 quality strikers, one's drawing half the defense or more than half the defense because they're making a more dangerous looking run, and the other one ends up scoring.
It's going to be interesting too which NoCo team shows up, because they could pour in 3 goals and all 3 goals absolute bangers, or they could do absolutely nothing and score 0.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they work well against teams with good defense. And yeah, like they've got solid attacking if the defense isn't up for that. If you're looking at another offensively minded team, and I think the one thing we can say is offense has not been the highest priority early on in the season, but our defense has always been a high priority. So 3-0, and I'm not going to try and predict anything because I need to see who gets injured or what injuries don't happen on Saturday.
I just looked. Their last 13 games, 6 of their last 13 games have been having a red card. My gosh.
There have been more red cards in this season, I think, than there have been in the previous 2 combined. Like that MLS Next pulling third division refs out of circulation is hurting bad.
Yeah, I mean it's bad, but maybe we'll see some red cards. That could be exciting. Yeah. Just make sure if there's something feisty going on, ESPN Plus isn't going to show it. So send your videos at Liam Keating 7 on Twitter. Let's see it.
Very true. Very true. As always, be sure to go check out all of our blog content at wghmedia.com.
Yeah, let me give a shout out to Rich. Rich has been crushing it this year. Support him. He has done such a good job this year, and he's really dedicated to the behind the scenes writing look. And I think Union Omaha fans should be really lucky to have someone like Rich writing so much and really take advantage of that free content, because that is really awesome to read.
No, I mean, if we want to talk about somebody who's improved amazingly since their start with Union Omaha, Rich, if Rich wants to go professional here, he's going to pick up a big contract, get signed in a big city somewhere. He's not
going to come for my job. He's going to come for my job. Don't give him any ideas.
He's going down to Liberty, Missouri to cover high school sports. That's his next big gig. No, but seriously, do check out Rich. We've got other writers working on some fun behind the scenes stuff. And if you've got questions, got ideas for the pieces you want to see, send them in. Always looking to add to the portfolio, and find us. Twitter's where we're most active. We are on Instagram. We check it. We don't post a lot to it because we're not pretty enough. There's no thirst traps. If you want thirst traps, go to Dion. Dion Akoff. I think is it just _ Dion Akoff on Instagram? Either way, thirst traps are there. And Facebook. We are on Facebook. Again, don't post a whole lot there, but we're always checking it. So find us. And Liam, I got a question for you. Who gives a hoot?
I
Tweet
do.
it.